What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one, the only Ash Said It. AshSaidIt.com, AshSaidIt.com. Welcome to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. I appreciate you guys so very much. Over 1,500 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. Thank you so, so very much. I wouldn't be able to do this stuff without you guys, all right? And this week coming up is the Nourished Festival. Yes. We are talking with a number of different brands that are going to be involved with this amazing event. This is the first year that it's going virtual. And today I'm talking with founder and CEO of the Metta Gluten-free flour, the wonderful Abba. Hey, Abba.
Hi. Hi, thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, thank you so much. So, Abba, what part of the country are you right now?
I'm actually in Frisco, Texas, which is pretty close to Dallas. It's one of the suburbs of Dallas, Texas.
Yes. And what kind of weather are you guys having out there today?
It's actually beautiful. It's in the 70s right now and sunny, so it's absolutely perfect.
Right.
Not cold, not warm, so it's just right.
Yes. All right, Alba. So, Metta gluten-free flour. Why did you decide to create this particular flour?
Well, it actually kind of sort of fell on my lap, Ashley, about 6 years ago. My son was diagnosed with a gluten sensitivity, and us being Indian, from northern part of India, we ate these chapatis or these tortillas every single day made out of wheat flour. So, and at the time he was 7-8 years old, and that was one of his favorite things to eat. And he couldn't have it anymore. And so I decided to sort of create a gluten-free one. Well, before I did that, I tried a lot of stuff that was already in the market, including one or two gluten-free flours that was specifically for the chapatis or the tortillas, the Indian style, and they just tasted absolutely horrible. We did not like them. He did not like them. They just did not, kind of met the expectations and everything. And so I started sort of just playing around with different flours, different types of blends, and I came up with a blend that was, that behaved and also tasted very similar to the flour or the tortillas that it produced, very similar to the original wheat-based ones. And so I started selling it at the farmer's market, because then I, at the time, also, met, of course, through social media and, friends that I was talking to, and a few friends that said that, they would love something like this. So I started selling these tortillas to people and at farmers markets and friends. And then I did that for about a few years, for a good 1 to 2 years. And then I quickly realized that, that this was something that was really needed out there, but then also, some people had the interest in actually purchasing the flour. They're like, can you just sell us the flour that you made these amazing tortillas from? And I'm like, that is just a whole new different sort of, kind of, I wouldn't even know how to go about doing that, and I'm like, I blended at home all these flours and I make the tortillas, but to actually sell the flour. And so I kind of started looking into that. And then, it took another few years to really just figure out how I can, get the blend made outside of my home. And to be able to package and then actually sell it. And so that's kind of basically how it started. I had no intention of actually doing something like this. It's just, everything just sort of fell on my lap and I just kind of rolled with it. I actually have a degree I have a PhD in psychology. So I worked as a neuropsychologist for 10 years in England before we moved back to the U.S., and my kids were young at the time. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to stay home now. And, so I'm like, I needed something to do. So everything just sort of I just rolled with it. I said, all right.
Amazing. Wow, that is awesome.
Thank you.
So as like you said, people were telling you, hey, we want to buy the flour. We want to, bring this home to our families and, create all kinds of memories and things with it. What would you say was your first challenge, your first hurdle that you faced when you decided that you were going to package the flour?
I think, one of the first hurdles was that finding the right mill that could source, because it has 7 different ingredients. So I think because I worked with a couple of different mills before we actually found one that could source all the flours.
Yeah.
So that was one of the biggest hurdles. And plus, of course, I needed it to be a completely gluten-free facility, and high quality products, right? High quality flours, and that could source all of them, it's as affordable as I could, get it. But I finally found a mill that could source all of them that met all my, requirements that I had of high standards.
Yeah.
So that was one. And then the other thing, my constant everyday challenge, is actually just creating the awareness of the brand, that it's out there. Right. And my personal challenge has been just learning how to navigate in this kind of business,
right.
The food business. And like I said, that's not my background at all, and to be able to talk to people and, just doing everything, whether it's photography, whether it's website, whether it's social media platforms, just doing everything for the business on my own. That's been a huge challenge, but also just a huge learning experience. And I'm having fun. I'm enjoying, I'm growing, and I'm also just praying that this goes out to people that really could benefit from it. And that for me has been very rewarding.
Yes, well, absolutely, Ava. I will say that you're doing pretty awesome. All right, you're doing pretty phenomenal, with everything. So I know you said it can be overwhelming, like in any business, but you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So you're also involved this year with the Nourished Festival. This is the first time that everything's going virtual. So what can people expect from you guys over at the Nourished Festival this year?
Well, we are still actually working on finishing up our booth. Like I said, even the whole, online, I'm not a tech, very techie person. And so that's been kind of a huge learning experience and challenging. So we're still working on our, booth. But in terms of what our, the customers and, they can expect is we do have a special on, we sell the flour in a 2-pound size bag. And so one of our specials is, we have, buy one, get one bag, 50% off. And then we also have specials on multiple purchases, like with free shipping. If people were to buy 5 bags or more, they get free shipping. And then also I do have some live feeds that I'll be doing on how to make the breads, the tortillas.
Yes.
And then, but the other thing that I want to make sure that, people realize is that even though this flour was originally designed to make tortillas and chapatis, Indian flatbreads, but, we have got over 40 recipes on things like cookies and muffins. And oh my God, I've had so many people that are not Indian that have bought the flour and have absolutely raved about how great the waffles and the pancakes come with this flours. And, many have said that it tastes and feels just like the normal like what you would expect from a non-gluten-free flour. It doesn't have an aftertaste. And so there's just so many other things that you can do with it. So besides just making tortillas. And of course, I mean, it's absolutely wonderful for tortillas, but you can do a lot more. So it's a very versatile flour.
Yes, definitely. Last but certainly not least, Abba, what advice would you have for any person out there, much like yourself, who's very accomplished? You've got this vast background with your career and your studies, but, like you said, jumping into the food industry was a completely different beast for you. What advice would you have for someone that may consider maybe a different industry?
I've been doing this. I've started in this industry about over 5 years ago, 5 to 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. And just take it slow. I mean, one of the first things that I did when I started on this path of creating the flour was I decided that I was not going to kind of dive really deep. I mean, that I wasn't going to take it very fast. Like I read about some articles that people have started a gluten-free business. There's this, one sort of sisters or friends that had started, and they really sort of invested a lot right from the beginning. And then after about a year or two, they went bankrupt. So that was the one advice that I really kind of, take it slow. Take it slow. Yes, do what feels right. Have work hard but take it slow. Don't kind of just go ahead and kind of right off the beginning invest a lot of your capital into it. Take it slow. And if it's a good product, if it's something new that you're doing and you're passionate and it's beneficial, it will take time. So I think having patience with yourself is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And take it slow and keep learning, keep growing, keep following your heart, and so.
Absolutely. Well, Ava, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you beyond words.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let everyone know the best way to get in contact with you guys, of course, to get the flour, and where they can find you at the Nourished Festival this year.
The Nourished Festival, we're under 5 different categories. We're under, oh gosh, you caught me off guard. But I mean, obviously, we're silver sponsors and 5 different categories. Obviously, we're under the tortilla and category. We're under the baking category. We're under, I forgot what other categories. They have got gazillions of categories, but we're under 5 different categories. Yeah. But also our website is www.metta, METTA, gluten-free, flour, FLOUR.com. So that's our website.
Awesome. Absolutely. Ava, thank you so very much. Much more success to you and your team into 2021. It's going to be a better year for us all.
Oh, I really hope so. I really pray that it is. Yeah, worldwide, honestly. Yes. This year has been, quite challenging in so many different ways for everybody. So, yes, I pray that next year is, we have good times.
Yes. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so very much for all of your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me, just watch. Watch what I do, watch me make it happen, watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.